Hi. Hi, humans. Hi, humans. Probably, I guess it's kind of a weird time for now to be on. 7 Pacific, 8, that's 10 Eastern, 9 Central. It's an okay time. I want to be on, so I'm going to be on. Fiery Redhead, Julia, hi. I'm caring for my plants right now. There's 1, 2, 3. My plants are getting watered. This guy across from me is not happy, so he's also getting Reiki'd. He's also getting loved on. Rocking my Reiki retreat sweatshirt. Mine says Reiki Master, and there's the bee with my name. Mine says Founder and CEO underneath it, and then the blue and green bee on the back. I'll show you guys before I get off, but I don't want to get up right now. I don't want to get out of my beautiful wicker thorn throne to do so. What a weekend. Here's what I will tell you is this last weekend, Mama Moon, where's she at? 9 days, 999. We've got 2 more days. We have 2 more days of the 999 portal. 2 more days of the 999 portal. It started on 9/9 on September 9th. And 9 is a number of completion. It's a number of celebration. It's a number of fruition. And this last weekend collectively was really, really big. Hi, Crystal. Hi. And I'd be interested in what you guys were moving through and if you participated in something really big this weekend. Because I've actually talked to several people who were participating in really big things this last weekend. So I'd be interested to know if that's you. I just now in this moment am realizing how significant 999 has been in my whole life. And that it's like 9/9, that it's the 9/9 portal. I wasn't really, I was aware of it, but didn't really, do work with the 9/9 portal consciously until this last weekend. So it is Wednesday right now. I keep saying that because I'm trying to ground myself in linear time. It's Wednesday right now. It's Wednesday, September 15th, 2021 AD. Whatever that means. After the conquering of Christianity to apparently change the alignment of time. Christianity coming and conquering things wasn't human, BT dub. Wasn't human. And what's happening here on this planet right now has been happening on planets in the ether for a very long time. We have an opportunity here to do something different than has happened in all the planets in the ether. I got back from Reiki retreat on Monday. I got up there last Thursday on the 9th, and I genuinely am having a hard time putting words to the experience we all had this last weekend. Wanting to be very intentional about honoring the sacred space that we had, which is what stays there leaves there. Also, there was a lot of really important work that deserves to be kept sacred, kept there. So that's what I'll say there. It was otherworldly, true. I don't say this lightly. The word tribe is not to be used lightly. True micro experience of tribal connection. And the level of healing that happened was individual, was generational, was cross lineage, cross different ties and lines, and it was collective. And as a facilitator, the only explanation for what occurred this last weekend in terms of how everything played out was it was divinely guided and gifted to us. It was divinely guided and gifted to us. I've yet to see someone on here who was at retreat. I might have missed it. If you were at retreat, say hi. So what was this last weekend? Let's get into some logistics. You guys are like, okay, nice ethereal shit, Shanté. What happened? So this last weekend was my first Reiki retreat and training as a Reiki master, coming in and training new practitioners and giving a new group of people Reiki attunements. What is a Reiki attunement, you ask? Reiki is something that must be facilitated through a master to be gifted to you through source, and there's a process to attune your body and attune your energy in order to receive the infinite divine love that is Reiki. And it's not, while you can teach yourself to move energy, this comes up a lot. People are like, I'm teaching myself Reiki. No, you're teaching yourself to move energy. You're not teaching yourself Reiki. Reiki is a consciousness. It is an entity. It is a life force that can be moved through, that has to be gifted to you to do so. And so that's what this weekend was me holding space for education. What really mattered to me this weekend was not just giving people attunements, which means gifting them the ability to move Reiki, but actually educating them and teaching them and giving them lived experience on how to do so. I learned last year when TikTok blew up and I started my people that I could work with started exploding, and I was working with mostly professional energy workers, and last year that expanded. And what I realized, because most of my clientele was local, specifically professional energy workers previous to that, what I realized was how very few people are actually training people how to use their gifts, and training people how to actually move and use Reiki versus just giving people attunements. And I think that there was probably a time where that was less of an issue. That's no longer the case. I think there was a time that was less of an issue. That's no longer the case. And that things like Reiki traditionally were given and passed down through extensive time, energy exchange, hands-on, face-to-face teaching, and that it was something that was a calling and something that you did, that even if you received training, it was something just in general, more traditional healing arts. The reason that shifted was because colonization and capitalism, truly. And I think that's part of the issue in the situation where people are getting attunements without getting trainings, and that people are getting attunements, and even if they love it and they're really into it, if you're not actually doing this work, I think there's some questions to be had about whether or not you should be giving attunements if you can't train somebody. Just my thoughts. And so this last weekend, I held a Reiki retreat and training, and we had an indigenous medicine woman there whom I am a space holder for, and so we did things as they should be done, and I knew they should be done this way because I'd been told they should be done this way, and there was something inside me that was like, oh no, if you're doing work on land, you should have somebody there whose land it actually is to be doing work with the land. And it was like, oh, this is something that should be done. And then after this weekend, having experienced it, I will no longer do a retreat or something like this without a space holder who is there to heal and work on that land, because I can't do both. I can participate in the healing and the working of the land, but I can't both be the space holder for my people and the space holder for the land at the same time. And if it's not my land, I shouldn't be doing that. And so it was an incredibly powerful exchange where we learned how to make proper exchange with Mama Gaia, and proper offering and connection with Mama Gaia, in a way that changed my whole life. And everything that we did through this weekend was from the lens of healing the colonizer indigenous wound. And the the split between indigenous DNA and white DNA, and any sort of DNA of essentially like British, European, white European descent, right? And it was fucking insane. It was insane. I do some like big shit on a regular basis, and I participate in big energy work shit on a regular basis. Like, what went down this weekend was nuts. And I cannot wait to do it again. I cannot wait to do it again. This is a post Reiki thing that this part, this is perfect. I was like, I needed to talk about this. So Aubrey, we can cut here. Post a retreat, not just post a retreat, but post making a really big goal, post something that you've wanted and worked really hard for coming to fruition. You will experience a hardcore crash. Post something that you've worked hard for and put time and effort and energy into, post a goal coming to completion, you will experience a dopamine and serotonin plummet. I started feeling it really on Sunday night after people left. And then Monday was kind of just like, okay, let's just pack our shit and get out of here. And then Monday, after the final person who stayed up with us one more night was dropped off where they were supposed to be, like, I've been crashing since. And today kind of feels like a bit of the bottom out of it. Tomorrow I get to talk to some of the people on the phone and get to connect with them. But that's an important thing to know, that when you get somewhere that you've wanted to be, that you've worked for, that you get a manifestation, the idea that, like, I will get here and feel this thing and it'll be sustainable actually isn't true. The goal and that feeling you get when you get it isn't the sustainable part. That's why it's important to create a life where you enjoy the experience getting to the places you want to be. We've been conditioned for shiny object syndrome, that like, oh, I'll just work really hard because there's this thing over here I've literally been marketed and programmed to believe that I want. I will get here and then I will be happy. That's the story we're fucking sold. That is the soul of capitalism, right? It's outside of me. I will get here and then I will be happy. When the reality is, I will live my life in a way where every day the little things happening bring me joy and gratitude and connection. Kylie's finally on here. I was like, I know someone who was at retreat is going to get on here. I will live my life in a way so that the journey to get there is just as good, if not better, than the fruition. And so I'm really, really grateful, and I thought about this multiple times this weekend, just looking around at the people and our experience and, like, us being there together, but I'm so grateful for the day-to-day ebb and flow that is my life that got me through this weekend, to be able to, what word am I looking for here? To be able to find more ease in processing this dopamine crush, I guess. Because even though, like, I'm saying all these things, I'm grateful for all this stuff, like, I still feel just like shit right now. I physically feel like shit. My brain is like, Nick is sick. I'm just so tired. And I'm just like, can I just live in this weekend every day forever? Because it was so good. It was such a high that I'm like, and I'm just grateful that my life eases some of that fall, because previously in my life, when I'd be going after really big goals, I've been after this retreat I think probably forever, but very solidly since October of 2014, that I was like, I'm going to have a retreat one day and it's going to change people's lives. Like, they're going to come and you're going to walk in that door and the experience is going to create such a bubble and things are going to just be so safe and it's going to change their entire lives. And I confidently say that that is true from this last weekend for everybody. But this is, so how many years is that? 14? 7 years? That's 7 years. And previously, in my experience, things that I'd worked really hard for, like graduating college, for example, I took 7 years to get my bachelor's. I graduated with a lot more credits than I needed for my bachelor's, but it was like this thing I'd been working years for. And I got it, and I got this piece of paper, and then 6 days later, got a corporate job that I hated, and like, I did it! And within like 3 weeks, I wanted to die. Very literally wanted to die. And the thing that kept me alive was getting off of work, and Wednesdays going out to the bar for ladies' night, and Thursdays going out to the other bar for Thirsty Thursdays, and Fridays going out to the bar, hopefully fingers crossed a concert, and getting drunk. Saturday, fingers crossed maybe another concert, and getting drunk, or staying at home and chewing up pills. And then Sundays, I would be miserable and eat a shit ton of pizza, and get up on Monday and go to work. And that's just like one example of the things that, like, you will get this. You will get the benefits and the salary and the paid vacation and the blah, 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 and then you'll be happy. You'll get the car, or you'll get the degree, or you'll get the marriage, or you'll get the clothes, or you'll get the blah, and then you'll be happy. Right? And it just, none of it was sustainable. And the feeling of even getting it was like, I will tell you this, the feeling of getting this weekend is fuck yes. The feeling on the other side is like, okay, back to my regular life. Part of me yesterday was like, oh shit, like what now? Like what new thing am I going to do now? And I had to go get on my yoga mat and draw some tarot cards to tell me, like, check your shiny object syndrome. That I'm like, oh, I'm not doing any new thing. I'm just doing more of what I'm already doing, and I really love what I'm already doing. I share that with you because it's just been a bunch of individual daily choices that have gotten me to this place in my life. It has been following my shift in 2014, in September of 2014, was about following my intuition 100%. I started really like connecting with my intuition and following my intuition in like 2013. Was like, okay, like, what's the law of attraction? Right? Like, what if I wasn't drunk all the time? What if I just like stopped drinking, unless it was just like I made boundaries for like, you can only drink if this. What if I did all of that? What would happen? I've started making decisions based on the idea of like, what if I did love myself? This is like a hypothetical. Like, I don't right now love anything about myself or my life, but like, what if I did? What choice would I make based on that? And I don't really know how I figured out how to do that. I think that was just intuition, and probably clairaudience and claircognizance and things in my head speaking to me. I just didn't know that's what was happening. That's probably what that was. I probably stopped drinking long enough to like hear something, and hear it enough times to guide me. Ultimately what it was is I started connecting in with a higher power. Kind of without knowing I was doing that at the very beginning. And then when I decided to like I didn't decide to actually get sober. I decided to quit drinking for a year and went to recovery meetings and got my ass on a mat. That's what happened. Okay, me finding the things. I got my ass on a mat. I started being on a yoga mat multiple hours a day. And you can't help but find source, universe, God, your higher self, whatever, if you are on a mat multiple hours a day. It just happens. If you're going to be in your body and breathe, it will just naturally happen. The yoga, to yoke, unite, use. So how am I coping with the crash that is inevitable post something really great happening? I'm drinking a lot of water. Sounds basic, but your body's trying to move energy. Water moves energy. I'm drinking a lot of water. I'm privileged enough to live in a place in the country where I can go and get water out of the ground, and it's healthy water. And so also watching what kind of water I'm drinking, if that at all is an option for you, actually makes a significant difference. So I have a bunch of empty milk jugs, and we drive out to different places that have wells to drink water out of the ground and fill up milk jugs and drink out of those. Drinking a lot of water. I'm just letting myself just like rest and sleep and kind of like do whatever I need to do to feel okay. Like, I'm letting myself just like watch TV and sleep and rest and trying to eat clean, healthy food. I'm journaling. I'm taking baths and showers Findaspring.org. Thank you, Fiery Hot Redhead, is apparently a way to get yourself clean water. Findaspring.org. Will you message me that so I can talk about it and send people to that link? That would be much appreciated. Fiery Hot Redhead. What's your name? And I'm choosing to do things that I do know make me happy and make me feel good. So, tying malas makes me happy and makes me feel good. Making gifts for friends makes me happy and makes me feel good. Spending time with friends, having phone calls. Yeah. Journaling.com. Hi, Teresa. Yeah. I think I just ran out of steam on this. I did. The wait list for my Reiki retreat and training in Georgia is up on gotlostgetfound.com. It's in February. The people on that wait list will get first option to sign up for Reiki retreat. There are 14 spots. 14 spots. The house has a pool. The house has a pool. Yay! It is a Reiki level 1 and 2. 9 out of the 14 people who came this last weekend had done 11-11, at least partially, if not completely, and there was a definite difference in those who have done 11-11 and others in terms of being more prepared for the weekend than I believe those who didn't were, for sure, without a doubt. Which was really cool to witness. That was really cool. Is it on the East Coast? It's in the South. It's in the Southeast. It's in Georgia, outside Savannah. I lived in Vidalia, Georgia for a while. How long did I live in Vidalia, Georgia? 5 months? Yes. Georgia. And why is it in Georgia? Because I was told it was in Georgia. And because I want to get back under one of those torrential, thunderous downpours. Real bad. Yeah. I think that's all I got. That's all I got to say. Does anybody have any questions? Kylie, how you feeling? How's a Kylie feeling? I gotta go check on my people. It's too quiet in there. Mom intuition's going, beep, beep. Fourth, come here. Come here, babe. Questions, comments, concerns. Thanks for listening. I just needed to process. Thank you for listening. I'm so grateful for this weekend. Kylie says, I am fantastic. Kylie, are you okay if I share a little bit of your process? Still integrating. Absolutely. How can we support you since you're always so supportive of us? Thank you, Christina. That's a great question. How can you... Yes, babe. Hold on. I've got to...
Soup.
You want some more soup?
Yeah.
Is it the best soup you've ever had in your life?
Yep, I want some more.
Okay. Can you give me just a minute and I'll come inside? You gotta stay away. Oh, careful. You're stepping on our plant. You're stepping on our plant, buddy. Be nice to him, bro. Look. He's so happy and long. Don't step on him.
How big?
I know.
And why hang that the one size?
That's how he hangs from the ceiling. Don't go near the stove. Give me a few minutes and I'll come inside and get you some. Okay?
Give me some.
I said give me a couple minutes and I will.
Mom.
What?
Mom.
What?
A robot moving and it's on the phone.
Leave my robot alone. Okay. Fourth. Go inside, please.
I'm hungry.
Dude, you ate 2 bowls of soup. Go inside, please. And I'll come in just a minute and help you. How can you support me? Words of affirmation is my love language. Creating and offering a testimonial to your experience with Got Lost, Get Found and with this space, whether it's written or shared stories or post whatever is really important right now, because we're getting ready to do another round of 11/11 for the fall, and my family is in a position where if it is an option, I would like Got Lost Get Found to be our main financial breadwinner, so that my husband can be here supporting me instead of working for somebody else. Anybody can always buy me something off of my Amazon wish list, which gifts is a big love language in terms of receiving for me. Tips are always really great, because right now I'm still in a little bit of a position where I'm selling my time. And I'm working on creating ways and creating offers and things for you guys that gets me less in that, where it can be totally passive. But as of right now, almost everything that I'm making money on is selling my time. And so times like this, it's like a little bit stressful. Yeah, and then like words of affirmations, getting messages on what this space and this work has done for you is also a really big deal for me, because words of affirmation is my thing. And sharing content, sharing this space, sharing stories, posts, videos, things that have really helped you to bring more people here. Follower numbers, while it's like, it doesn't matter, is also social currency that can give me sponsorship opportunities going into the winter that I'm really interested in. And it gives me the opportunity to be able to point at a brand that I love, that I feel like fits into this space really well, and say, hey, I want to work with you, pay me. Which is cool. And it feels like my 6 years as with a career in corporate marketing and branding was built for that, and set me up for this like influencer culture that wasn't a thing before. And there are a lot of really cool brands whose missions I really love, that I would love to get to work with and get paid for. So that's how you can help me and support me. Thank you so much for asking. Just you asking makes me feel supported. So thank you. Yeah. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Kylie said, Kylie said still integrating. Absolutely. So is that a yes, Kylie? So give me like just like a thumbs up or something. And I won't get like super intimate on anything, but I think a lot of what you experienced and a lot of what you spoke to was common. Like almost all of us raised our hands for what you were talking about, right? So I want Kylie to give an absolute informed consent, that I won't get in explicit details. And then, oh, he's just reading a book. I was gonna say I need to go get him soup, but he's just reading a book. Yes, this. Cool. So Kylie came, and Kylie's big thing, Kylie very much knew she needed to be there. I knew Kylie needed to be there, and Kylie kind of had to fight through with herself to get there. And it was a lot of her own stuff and her own stories. I'm liking this spatula that's becoming like a emphasis. So Kylie fought through a lot of her own, I think we could name it limiting beliefs. I think we could name it fear. I think we could name it self-sabotage. Kylie fought through a lot to be there. And Kylie got there definitely more on the walls up protected side of experience, and just like, okay, this is 14 strangers. We opened with Indigenous land dedication ceremony, so shit was like real weird from the beginning. And Kylie was there, and Kylie was committed, but definitely had a lot of walls up. And by the time we got into kind of halfway through our second day, so we all got together at about 5:30 on Friday, and so about halfway through the day, around 12ish, are we back? We're back.
Mom?
Yes, you want soup?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get this naked kid soup. Stay, speak with each other, introduce yourselves, tell where you're from. Don't turn it to you, you're naked, bud.
Mom.
What? Okay, we'll be right back. Soup. I'm back. I'm back. Okay. So, about halfway through our second day, we did our level 1 Reiki ignition. An ignition is a preparation. It's a meditative experience where you get to connect with source and Reiki energy and your higher self and all those things, however it manifests for you. An ignition is a meditative experience to prepare your body and your energy to receive the Reiki attunement or the ability to move and flow through Reiki. So it was following the level 1 ignition that Kylie spoke to this belief and this story, which is so relatable that, like, I don't have time for feelings. Like, feelings come up and, like, things wanting to be processed, and it's like, I've got shit to do, right? Kylie's a mom. Kylie's got 3 kids. Like, Kylie's got a partner. Like, I've got shit to do. I don't have time to sit and, like, cry or feel my feelings. And so I'll just, like, compartmentalize it and, like, shove it away, and then, like, I'll deal later, but, like, I don't need that. Like, I gotta go. Which is part of what this capitalist story is, like, hustle and grind to find your worth, and it's not about, like, feeling worthy, it's about fucking find your worth, right? Like, prove it to your neighbor, prove it to the people driving the car that, like, oh, you're worthy. And so what I've learned, and a huge part of why this space even exists and what I speak about, is when I have chosen to focus on my healing, when I have chosen to put my energy into healing myself, to put my energy into connecting with myself and with source and with my connection to something greater, when I put my energy into connecting with my body and then enjoying my life, things around me tend to come and flow easily. If I put that same work my ass off ethic that I've always had, that I was conditioned and disciplined and designed to have, if I put that same work ethic into myself and into my connection with the divine and into my own healing, shit around me tends to come easily. So I shared that with Kylie. And Kylie spoke about feeling like she had a noose around her neck, feeling like she was just, like, strangling. Noose around a neck is a very common energetic energy. Straight to the point, witch hanging, very common. Just like having your throat cut off, voice cut off, being tied down, being held back, being choked out, like, all of it. I think we can even, like, agree that, like, collectively capitalism is truly, like, choking us out, right? Like, sell hours of your life for money that you can't actually afford to even live, to, like, functionally exist. If you're making minimum wage, there's not a single place in the country you can afford a 2-bedroom apartment making minimum wage for working 40 hours a week, right? So I was like, okay, well, we did our attunement. Then on Saturday, for, like, lived practical experience, we went on a hike out in the Teton Mountains, out into the river, to do your own self Reiki practice, like moving Reiki energy for the first time, doing that out at the river with Mama Gaia. Kylie, it was funny because Kylie, I'm, like, just checking in on everybody, like, making sure everybody's actually getting it done, because it is part of the practicum that I require for you to get your certification. And it's funny, I, like, go to connect with Kylie to see how she's doing, and she just, like, keeps, like, moving around the trees that I'm around. And I think it was subconscious. I don't think she was consciously, like, hiding from me, but she was very much, like, hiding from me. So I connect with Kylie. She's a bit frustrated. Then I'm like, you're going to get in the river and feel some feelings. And Kylie's like, without saying it, is also like, fuck off, Shanté. And I'm like, you want that piece of paper? No, you're going to get in the river and feel some feelings. We got to call 2 other people in who were there, who are twin flames, who already have professionally been doing this work for a while. At least one of them has, but they've both been attuned previously for about over a year. And so they had experience moving things, and that what Kylie was needing help with was a big shift. To have something, like, around your throat is a big deal, and it was important that Kylie did it herself. Nobody was going to be able to take that off of her, and if they did, it was just going to come back. That happened to me before, that instead of a noose around my neck, I had shackles around my elbows. and people would take them off. I had them probably taken off like 8 or 9 times by another energy worker, and they would just come back, and they would come back worse. They'd like melt themselves onto my elbows, or my elbows would just like pour lava out of them to just like solidify into rocks. And it wasn't until I took them off myself and then I melted them down, and made them into like wrist cuffs, like protective things, which I actually haven't energetically used in a long time. This is an exciting thing to come back. Thanks, Kylie. If you aren't the one to take them off, they will just keep coming back. So it was important for Kylie to take it off herself. So these 2 other people came in, and I walked them through with how they were going to support her together, and then got to support Kylie in like getting into her body, dropping down what was already done, and then like moving into her body and moving emotion and feeling enough. And the metaphor, and it's not even a metaphor, like the explanation of how to do it is like, Kylie's had 3 babies. Kylie had 3 babies vaginally. Kylie had 3 babies on Pitocin with no epidural. Pitocin labor is significantly more intense than natural labor. Absolutely, because it's synthetically organized labor. It's significantly more intense. And so getting to look Kylie in the face and like, Kylie, you have trained for this. Like, of course this hurts. Of course this is uncomfortable. Like, you've trained for this, and it's just a contraction. Like, moving through big ass feelings like that is just like a contraction, and it'll come and you'll think it's gonna kill you, and like, what the fuck? And then it'll ease off. And so I got to watch Kylie, and then it eased off, and her looking me in the face and like, dude, you can do this. And then I watched Kylie take that noose, which wasn't just a noose, it was vines coming up her body and around her back and all through her neck, that the other 2 practitioners cut them and chopped them off and like cut them off from where they were. And I watched Kylie physically take that thing off of her head, and no exaggeration, I don't know how many people told you this, Kylie, but lots of people told me Kylie's facial structure changed in the next 3 to 4 hours. It went from her having these like really wide kind of like deer doe eyes to her eyes changing. And multiple people were like, is that real? I'm like, yeah, that shit's real. Kylie's facial structure did change. Yeah. And the Kylie after, there were still walls, but they weren't walls. They were walls. Like, she could like peek her head over and talk to you at. And Kylie was peeking her head over and talking to people, and like energetically really engaging with people. There were some times she like came out of the walls. Yeah, ask Theo to like really like pause and just like look you in the face, because your facial structure changed. And Kylie could breathe. Like, I watched Kylie breathe throughout the rest of the weekend. And that was just that actual like experience of being out in the river. Like, the whole weekend it was leading up to that and the come down from that, right? But like the experience of that feeling of feeling like she was gonna die, moving through it, was less than 7 minutes. Like, this small little gap of time in life that was like, and then it's done, and then it's gone. So the opposite side of like getting this big goal and like, holy shit, it's here, and then it's done, and it's gone, and then you're like, it's gone. That pain of like, oh my god, this is gonna fucking kill me, and then you're like, oh my god, it's gone. It's gone. It's the paradox of both sides, right? Like, it's all temporary. It's all temporary. And while it all matters more than anything, right? Like, that mattered so much. It also doesn't matter at all. Like, if you aren't enjoying your day-to-day monotony, what are you doing? Because there will always be day-to-day boring, necessary monotony. If you are not enjoying it, what's the fucking point? So I ask you to connect in with your intuition, shift things in a way where you decide that you're worthy enough to actually enjoy your life and start to make decisions based on that hypothetical belief. It feels real good to wake up in the morning and like your life. It feels real good to wake up and look yourself in the mirror and like who you are. I started with body. I started with my relationship with body. If you are at war with your body, which you are conditioned to be, if you are at war with your body, you will have a harder time listening and connecting with your intuition. If you are at war with your body, you will be at a detriment to your connection with Source, the divine, God, yourself, higher self, whatever. It is harder to hear if you don't trust the vessel. Get on your yoga mat. Also get in 1111, where I teach you how to actually connect with your intuition. Yeah. And with that, I feel complete. It all came back around together. Kylie, thank you. Thank you for graciously trusting me and giving me the opportunity to share my witnessing of your story and your experience to the weekend. And it was an absolute honor to hold space for you and to get to shave your head and to just get to watch you be more you. And it was always there. It was just that you cleared the shit off that was in the way of it. No one profound showed up. You just uncovered yourself. And thank you for allowing me to be part of that. And I love you. And I see you. And I'm really, really, really proud of you. And you are brave. You wild warrior woman. You are so brave. And I love you guys. And thank you for hanging out with me. Whether you're hanging out with me live right now or watching the replay. If you're still here, hi, I love you, thank you. And you matter and you are worthy. So if you're having a hard time believing that idea and making decisions based off of that idea that like, I'm worthy, just take mine for you. Because I mean that when I look you in the eyes. You are worthy. So you can borrow my belief and use it to build those beliefs on. Because it's just a new experience that takes to write new beliefs. And it's just fucking programming, you guys. It's just wiring in an electric meatball running around this flesh suit, meat suit, right? Yeah. Okay. Be a lobster. You don't know what that means, but Kylie knows what that means. Be a lobster. Bye, beautiful humans.